I was watching something, and it's a video, a recording of people gathered together, and somebody was addressing them. Watu wameketi na kuna mtu anawaongelesha. And the topic of the day was how hell is. Yani kuzimu kuko aje, kuna kuwaga aje. And this guy is describing in details how hell is. The people there do not wear clothes. The temperature in hell is 72 degrees. The temperature in hell is 72 degrees. And this guy described the things in hell. How hell is. Yani kuzimu kuko aje. And people are keenly listening. The silence was deafening as people listened to somebody illustrate to them, paint a picture of hell. We normally laugh at mad people. Unakutana na mtu amevuta bangi zake, ametoa nguo, ni mchafu, tunawahurumia kwa sababu ni wenda wazimu. But in actual sense, I think wenda wazimu ni wengi. People are crazy. We are crazy people. Because how in your senses do you sit down and listen for an hour or so to somebody describe hell to you? How do you sit down and keenly listen to somebody tell you vile kuzimu huko? Unaketi for an hour ukisikiza mtu akikuelezea vile kuzimu huko, unakaa unasikiza. So I ask myself, ni wewe unasikiza mwenda wazimu ama ni mwenye anawambia ni mwenda wazimu? Because that is crazy. Ni mwenda wazimu. How can I describe a place that I've never been to? Yani nilibeba thermometer, nikaenda hell, nikapima, nikaona ni 72 degrees. How are you able to describe places that you've never been to? And people are there listening to you and believing you and trusting you. Na unaona mpaka venye wako scared, wakisikia venye joto hiko kali huko kuzimu, wanaogopa. I love our imagination. It is good to have a good imagination. But it is also good to know when it is fiction and when it's reality. Because how do you describe somewhere that you've never been? How do you sit down and start listening to somebody describe to you the afterlife? Have they died and gone to the afterlife and came to tell you the story of the afterlife? Yani, na sio ile ya unakufa 30 minutes alafu unarudi kutuambia kuko hivi. Hapana. Kwa sababu hata sai udropiwe Kenya in 30 minutes, you cannot describe Kenya to anyone. You can't. Ati you've been dropped in Kenya for 30 minutes and now you're supposed to describe Kenya. You can't. Now, for how long were you in hell to be able to come and tell us about hell? For how long were you dead so that you can come and tell us about life after death? Because you must have died for at least 6 months or 1 year. Ukakufa, tukaona umekufa, tukakuzika. Ukakaa kwa kifo for 6 months ama 1 year plus. Then you can come and comfortably tell us hell kuko hivi. Lakini you've never been in hell. How do you sit down and start describing hell to anyone? And you, I like your imagination of hell. But who is crazier? The person describing or the person listening? Who is crazier? Yani nakuja kukuelezea maisha maisha ya after kukufa. Na mimi mwenyewe sijai kufa. Ninajua aje? Niliota kwa ndoto. Nikaonyeshwa kwa kioo. Vile hell kuko. And it's the same thing. Wale watu walichora shetani. It's a black dude with some horns. And you people, you see that picture and you're telling yourself, oh, shetani. Oh my God. Nani alikutana na shetani? Akakuja akamchora. Ni nani huyo? Because we need to start using our brains. We have them for a reason. And we are not using them. How can somebody come and describe devil to you? And it is good to have an active imagination. It is good to have an active imagination. Lakini, when I draw a picture of a black dude with horns, and I call him Satan, that is not how Satan looks like. That is my own imagination. Na unapoona hiyo picture, alafu unaogopa ni shetani. Hiyo sio shetani. Nani alikutana na shetani akamjua? The people who come and describe heaven to you, nyumba za dhahabu. It is good to have an active imagination. Lakini nani alienda mbinguni akaona nyumba za dhahabu? Nani? Hata Yesu, who was supposedly a son of God, didn't describe heaven to anyone. Sasa wewe hujawahi toka Kenya, but somehow umeenda mbinguni ukaona vile kuko. Sasa unaambia watu, unawaketisha chini kuelezea vile mbinguni kuko, vile kuzimu kuko, vile shetani anakaa. And we are crazy people. Crazy people. I love science fiction. And when I'm watching them, I know it's fiction. It is not a reality, it's fiction. So when you sit down and you have an active imagination of some of these things, and then you sit people down and you start describing those things to people, and these people are believing you. When we went to, niwenda wazimu, tukubali hivyo. Lakini tuzoe kutumia akili, because we have brains for a reason. It is so that we can be able to reason, because lately we are not reasoning. Mtu anawaketisha kuambia the afterlife, na yeye mwenyewe hajai kufa, and you people are like, nakuolerio. Amekuwa revealed. What? By who? Somebody is sitting, thousands of people, trying to describe to them how hell is, telling them about the temperature of hell. And I ask myself, alibeba thermometer to hell, akaenda akapima, akaona kwamba hell kuko 72 degrees. And watu wanaogopa, wanasikiza. And you are busy laughing at mad people. Who is crazier? Ule mtu mwenye anavuta mabangi zake huko, ama wewe mwenye unaketi ukielezewa, ukipaintiwa a picture of heaven, a picture of hell, a picture of the devil. People who've never seen the devil, people who've never been to hell, people who've never been to heaven, and they are busy painting that picture. And you're busy listening, and you're scared of going to hell. Oh my God, 72 degrees with no clothes. And I love God. I love God. But when you stand in front of me and you start preaching to me about God, you have to be very careful what you're telling me. Because I know for sure You've never met God. You've never interacted with God. You've never been to heaven. And you don't know how to get there. Because how can you describe how to get to a place that you've never been before? You can't. How can you direct people to a place that you've never been before? And it is common sense. If you've never been to a place, you can't know how to get there. You can't know. So when you stand in front of me and you are teaching about God, the things that I want to hear from you is how to be fair to others, how to be just, how to be courageous, how to create a better world. Kwa sababu najua hujawahi muona Mungu, hujui mbinguni kuko aje, na haujui kwenda huko, kwa sababu huwezi jua kuelekeza mtu mahali hujawahi enda. Unajuaje barabara? Unajuaje njia ya kwenda huko? Hujui. You don't know. Kila kitu unajua kama binadamu ni kutengeneza hii ulimwengu iwe mahala pazuri pa kuishi, kupendana, kuwa fair, kuheshimu wengine. Kwa sababu hiyo ni Mungu yenye nataka, yenye uko na nguvu ya kujua. Lakini usikuje hapa kujaribu kuniambia mbinguni kuko aje. Ulienda huko lini? Na hell kuko aje? Ulienda huko lini? We need to preach about things that we know of. How to live with each other. How to improve our relationships. How to raise good children. With good morals. How to not take advantage of other people. That you're preaching about God. Because God created us and put us here so that we can live harmoniously. And anything that is towards that, it is godly. Lakini wewe unakuja kuniambia hell kuko 72 degrees and I'm like, what? Huyu amevuta bangi asubuhi. Na sasa hata kama amevuta bangi, I can understand amevuta peke yake. Na sisi wengine wenye tumeketi kumsikiza. Because we are crazy people.